Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I wanted to show you this video here. This is a licensed therapist, and they mad at her in these comments because of what she talks about in terms of what she's seeing in these therapist offices when these women come in here. And they literally got mad at her in these comments.
Might piss some people off, but it has to be said. Not every tear means someone's a victim, and not every man is automatically the abuser. Let's talk about vulnerable narcissism in women, the face of narcissism nobody wants to address. We've been trained to see narcissism as arrogance, grandiosity, and entitlement, usually in men. But vulnerable narcissism wears a completely different mask. It hides behind pain, it hides behind sensitivity, it hides behind the very real experiences of trauma, but weaponizes those experiences as a tool to control. Here's how it plays out. A woman gets dysregulated and demands that her entire family reorganize around her emotions. She'll control partners with phrases such as, "You need to change if you want me to feel safe." She manipulates co-parenting dynamics. This is where I see it a lot, mandated co-parenting dynamics, by turning the children against their father because she feels threatened, abandoned, and wounded. Here's the part that stings. Yes, her pain is real, but that does not make her behavior healthy. Emotional dysregulation does not justify emotional control. Your trauma is not your partner's debt to pay. In fact, research shows that this is not just anecdotal. Dr. Pinnikus and Kane, they describe vulnerable narcissists as hypersensitive and control-seeking through victim narratives. In parental alienation research, we see clear patterns of emotional manipulation used as punishment in co-parenting dynamics. But what's really interesting in all of this, nobody wants to consider this abuse when it's wrapped up in female fragility. The Me Too movement exposed real abuse, but it also gave some women a shield to hide behind and to avoid accountability. If you cry enough, society will believe that you are the victim. But if a man did these same controlling behaviors, monitoring where you go, who you talk to, demanding constant reassurance, we'd call it emotional abuse. Control is control, no matter who is doing it. And sometimes covert female narcissism hides in plain sight because we confuse tears with truth. This is not about blaming women. Don't get your knickers in a twist, loves. This is about owning that dysfunction wears many faces. True healing requires that we are willing to call out unhealthy patterns. It's very easy for us to all do it externally until it's time to do it on ourselves, even when it's uncomfortable. Don't believe me? I'll link the research down below, because knowledge is power and ignorance is a choice.
And I did not detect one lie. There was not a single lie that this woman told. That is the way it is, and we can see it. And she points it out that it is more readily evident in situations where there is co-parenting to be done, where the woman uses these manipulation tactics. Oh, she's a victim and this, that, and the third, in order to manipulate the entire dynamic. You know, the man has to do all of this proving. She turns the kids against the father. You know, all of these things, she's got to set it up. And the reason that they've been able to get away with it so long and why it's so difficult to squash is something that she actually said in the video. She said that there are instances where the trauma is actual, like the events happened. There's actual like pain behind something, or you know what I mean? There's actual like the emotion itself is real, triggered by an actual event or set of events. The problem comes in is when those real feelings or valid feelings are used to validate crazy behavior behind it. Now I'm going to weaponize it. Now I'm going to make you the problem. Now I'm going to make a whole problem for everybody because I feel a certain type of way. And even if the initial thing was a legit thing, now I'm going to make it so crazy for everybody that it ends up not mattering what caused it all, because you made such a mountain out of a molehill, or you didn't even go down the route of actually trying to resolve an issue that may have came up. You took it all the way left. Like, you took this whole thing all the way to the hilt. And now the people around you have to deal with the fallout of those actions. We're not even dealing with the initial thing no more. Now we dealing with all of the foolishness that you're in wrapping everybody else up in. So just because you sitting here crying, that doesn't necessarily mean that you were correct in the situation, because all of us have seen plenty of instances, whether it was online or whether in real life, of women who weaponize tears. You know what I'm saying? And we're not even saying that crying is inherently manipulation. That's not an inherent weapon. Because like I told you, I'm a crybaby. If something go down, I'm probably gonna start crying. But the crying is not meant to make you move no type of different way. I just feel it, and it is what it is. It's about to come out in tears. I'm still gonna be listening. I'm still gonna work towards the problem, but I'm gonna, work towards the solution to the problem. But I'm gonna cry while we doing it. But so many women actually weaponize the tears, whether they weaponizing it in front of the men to get the men to do something, or they are trying to convince somebody else that somebody did something to them, or what have you. And it's not even just crying. Sometimes a lot of times it's getting upset, getting loud, getting upset, getting flustered. Now that's the cover. I've dealt with that a lot in my life. Seeing women, and then they super frustrated. Anytime you call them to the carpet, anytime you make a good point, anytime you know what I'm saying, call them towards accountability, now this is where the argument got to start. This is where the yelling got to start. Now, oh my God, I can't believe you saying it. You know what I'm saying? And moving the goalposts and all of that, because there was accountability on the table. Ain't nobody got time for that. And they mad at her in these comments, trying to dismiss it. Say, yeah, white women popularize this behavior. Also, water is wet. Anything else? Nah, we not doing a race thing. It's y'all. Okay, some women was like, "No, it's spot on. I couldn't mute the post fast enough." Girl, what? Somebody said that. Is she being proven right in these comments? She is. Okay. Somebody says a few hot dogs in the comments. She ain't saying nothing wrong. Y'all right here in the comment actively doing what she talking about. Man, the real problem is a lot of both men and women don't grow up like they were supposed to. Never healed the trauma. Don't see their parents as people. And that's why it's so crazy. So I had to call myself out on this. Came from an abusive relationship, brought it to a new relationship on defense mode. Lost my mother in my new relationship, got worse. I thank God that he's amazing, and he is, because he could have left and I wanted him to so bad because I was a mess. But 15 years later, we're the best we've ever been and married for 7. So they didn't like what this young lady was saying, but she wasn't lying on y'all. And it's about time that somebody in these professional fields that hear y'all foolishness, that get paid to listen to y'all, come here and tell her these stories, and then she got to kind of break through what you telling her, because you coming in with your side of the story don't make it right and it don't make it true, and she got to read between the lines to make you do the reflection about your part in these things. That's the trick. When you're a coach, or if you're a therapist and you listen to people, you're gonna get one side. because you only talking to the one person, unless you happen to be doing like couples or multiple people that's involved. But usually it's one-on-one. And that person is bringing to you their perspective of what happened, which is normal because that's the only perspective that they can bring. But at the same time, you, as the person as they came to for advice or help, you have to be able to discern that this is indeed their perspective of the situation. That doesn't make it necessarily true. This is why you have to start asking questions. And the questions that you ask them are designed to make them think about it. It's designed to make them think about it, because they're coming to you in victim mode. Oh, this happened to me. This is happening to me. This is going on. That's going on. And it's like, so, okay, so what are you doing? And I guarantee you, a lot of people don't like that question. No matter how you ask it, what's the part you're playing? I tell you, people don't like that question at all. But you got to ask it, because it's relevant in pretty much every situation. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, is the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.